Do you like a challenge? I think most people do. We like to be challenged because it motivates us, it brings out the best in us. But if things cross the line from challenging to impossible, then it has the opposite effect. Then we feel hopeless and we just want to give up. Why even try? We feel like we're being set up for failure. Well, there's a verse in the Bible that comes to mind when I think of this. In Matthew chapter 5, verse 48, Jesus tells us to be perfect as our Heavenly Father is perfect. Wow. What do you think about that? Okay, no. Not on my best day. Not my best minute could I be perfect as my Heavenly Father is perfect. This is one of those wait a minute verses in the Bible. What are you saying, Jesus? What's this mean? And one thing it doesn't mean, it's not talking about the perfect righteousness we receive from Christ when we become a Christian. That righteousness is paying of the penalty on the cross that saves us. No, this is talking about us in our lives. It's in the beginning of the Sermon on the Mount. It's what that's all about, how we live our lives. Be perfect as our Heavenly Father, as God is perfect. Well, I know it makes you stop and think and wait a minute, but stop and think some more. What other standard is there? What other thing could Jesus say? Be more perfect than you were before? Hopefully that's the case, but then we could really stop any time, couldn't we? Well, I'm more than I was. In fact, I've noticed, I think many of us, sometimes we look at our growth, our maturity, and we see how far we've come, and we sort of, we're proud of that. We're maybe satisfied with that. And we forget to look at how far there is to go, and that how far there is to go is God, His standard in whatever area it is, His perfect standard. So He's not going to say, be more perfect than you were. What about more perfect than the average person? Well, you think of how low that sets the bar today. You take everyone, not even Christians, into account. And then even thinking about Christians, be more perfect than the person next to you on Sunday morning. No. None of that would work. None of that makes sense. And the problem with all of it is it's a relative standard. More perfect than I was, more perfect than the other person. And really, even the wording doesn't make sense. You can't be more perfect. You're either perfect or not. You can be closer to it, I guess. But that's the whole point. Jesus didn't give us a relative standard. He gave us this absolute standard. Now, will we ever be perfect as God is perfect? No. But once again, it means we're constantly seeking to grow and mature, not to earn our favor with God, certainly not to earn salvation. That is based on Christ's righteousness. But I seek to grow and mature in my personal righteousness as much as I can, and there'll never be a time when I stop because the standard is God. The other thing that this does, it's not really what the passage is about, but it has the effect when I realize that, God is absolutely perfect, and as much as I try, as much as I grow throughout my life, I never will be. Well, it helps me then appreciate that I'm saved by grace based on God's gift of Christ's righteousness. It's never me. No matter how much I mature, no matter how much I grow, I still need Christ's grace, and that's always a good thing to remember. So, no, God is not setting us up to fail. Jesus didn't set some standard and say, all right, if you don't reach this, you're no good. I don't love you, don't care for you, don't like you as much as the other guy. No, He's just saying, as you seek to grow and mature into this relationship that God has always intended from the beginning of time, and God sent His Son, Jesus died to restore that relationship. This is what we seek, to be like God as much as possible. So hopefully that helps you understand this verse. There's some others similar to it at different places. That's the point. God's setting the bar. That's what it's to be as we work toward it. Our relationship with Him is not based on it, that God likes us more or less, but it certainly affects our relationship as we become more and more like God. So, as always, there's some action steps below to help you apply this. Read through those, see what you think, work it out, talk them over with someone else. Use this as a resource maybe for a informal discipleship meeting or even a small group setting.